So we had some surprises this week. One of the bigger ones was this, the Denver Broncos really shutting down a good Cowboys offense, which, before this game started, I'm thinking, I don't know how they can do this. It seems like teams have figured out the Broncos defense. I thought that this was not a overwhelming scheme type win. This was more of a game calling type win. What I mean by that is, I think about, for example, Super Bowl, the most recent Super Bowl, the Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. The Buccaneers didn't do a lot that different. They basically played their cover two, whether it's zone or man, for the entire game, and the Chiefs just didn't really have an answer for that type of coverage. That's not necessarily beating them with play calling, but with game plan. Whereas this one, I think that if the Cowboys knew what plays were happening, they would have had no problem having success. They couldn't figure out what Denver was doing, and I'll explain that best on this first play I'm going to talk about. Let's start off with something like this. This is a good example of what Denver was able to do successfully. It's not something that's crazy or that you'll never see, but you know what? You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. Not every game plan has to be the craziest game plan you'll ever see. What I want you to look at right here is that you see that there are, I've circled the two safeties in this play. And what the two safeties are doing here is they appear to be deep, which means that if this is the case, if they are staying deep, then, the offensive line can block the way I've shown them to block, and everyone is accounted for. This is a good situation, as typically on these types of plays, you can get 7 to 10 yards when teams are playing cover two. And when teams have tried to play cover two against Dallas, they've ran all over them and have not had much success. However, you notice one safety is now going to creep in a little bit. This is not cover two. This is what Denver did all game, was they would, if they wanted to play cover two or quarters coverage, what they would do is they would, only have one safety deep and then have them come back, or play two safeties deep and stay deep, but they would just keep mixing it up. They would not make it clear. They would constantly be shifting, and doing that made it basically that the Cowboys were guessing whether or not it would be cover two or cover one, which, again, this is something most teams do. It's actually something every teams do to some degree, but Denver just did a ton of it, which basically kept Dallas guessing. What you see now is that, so there's a wide receiver who can now run over and block the safety, but now you have a corner who's left unblocked. So you get an unblocked man, which is really important in the running game. Now, as you see, linebacker Kenny Young actually just completely blew this play up, and it didn't really matter too much on this specific one, but it's a good example, and it probably would have mattered. You probably would have still gotten a quick tackle if it wasn't for the great play by Young, but I just chose this one because it's just a good example of really what worked well, I think. There was also some small stuff like this, where it's going to be zone coverage. You have CeeDee Lamb running over the middle, and with a play action, this stuff can work out pretty well. However, I've also circled a defensive back for Denver, and what they're going to do is he's going to be blitzing off the edge. It's kind of clear he's about to blitz right here, but just a couple seconds earlier, it was not clear at all. It was a good disguise up until really right at this point when I paused it. So, Prescott does not realize this is coming. They don't have a designed blocker for him, and watch what happens. He's going to rush in, and he's going to, get blocked pretty well by Tony Pollard. I mean, he took a shot for sure. So I would say that Prescott maybe could have still thrown this ball down the field. If you look down the field, there's certainly a window for Prescott to make this throw. However, due to the pressure, Prescott just doesn't feel like he should, so he's going to not do that. He instead scrambles out, again, because of that quick blitz, and is going to throw the ball down the field where it gets incomplete. So, again, a good job of that blitz on that look. Maybe it's just luck, but you know what? That's kind of football to some degree. It's play calling and luck. You get the right call there, and you're able to basically blow up a play that probably would have been a big completion had they not run that play. So stuff like that is very good. Also, something like this is another good example of what's going to happen, of really what they did well, is just kind of these things where they're playing good defense and they fooled Dallas, where on this play, it's a cover one robber, which means the two safeties in the game, one of them covers deep, the other covers over the middle. Everyone else is playing man coverage, and then four players rush the passer. However, when Prescott takes the snap, a couple of very notable things to watch here. The first is in the black box I have there. You notice that if this was what we saw on the screen, you'd probably say, okay, that receiver's about to get wide open. However, that is not the case whatsoever. What is the case is that, typically what teams will do in this situation, or at least what some teams do, what smart teams do, is you'll do a switch right here, where the safety now takes on the receiver the rest of the way. And this now means that the corner who was covering in man coverage no longer has to do that, and he instead basically takes that safety role. He covers the middle of the field. Now, I've also pointed out a different route further down the field, the one I've circled in yellow. That's the one that Prescott is going to actually want to throw to. So you might be wondering, why the hell did I just spend all this time talking about something that's on the other side of the field? But it's actually really important. Because of this switch, the way that Prescott first read the play was he saw it was man coverage, he saw that there were two safeties deep, and the safety lined up towards the offense's right stayed deep, meaning that you expect that there is no safety over the middle of the field that can really get over there in time. Sure, there is one that's going to eventually get over there. It'll just take a little bit longer for him to get there. But due to this switch, you now have someone playing that robber role who's going to be a lot closer than Prescott expected. So, again, this isn't anything too crazy, but sometimes this stuff can, really work out, and that's what happened for Denver. As you see, Prescott makes the throw and ends up getting picked off. So a lot of people will say, oh, Dak, how do you not see right there what's going on? But it actually kind of makes some sense. I mean, Prescott read, his initial read was correct. Like that was a smart read early on. He just didn't see the switch. And, there's a million things you have to watch in football. Every guy gets fooled on this stuff. Tom Brady gets fooled on these types of plays every now and then. He does. It happens. So I'm more willing to say good job, Denver defense, than bad job, Dallas offense there. Okay, now for a speed round, I want to just show some plays that were, they were a bit clunky. So on this one, Prescott, he's going to make this throw. That was on a 4th down. He just underthrew it. That was a catch, quite frankly. That one is tough. You also have this one. What's going to happen here is Prescott, fakes the handoff. He throws, and that's kind of a timing issue. We're just not quite on time there, not on the same page entirely. We have this play where what's going to happen on this one is Prescott takes the snap. He throws to a wide open receiver who does not make the catch. That was Tony Pollard on that one. Right here, you're going to have a situation where there's actually going to be, towards the bottom of the screen, a receiver who gets open deep. Prescott has a clean pocket. He makes this throw, not quite able to hook up there. Tough play, but if they make it, that's a touchdown right there. So you nearly had a tremendous play. On this one, Prescott makes a throw to a wide open Amari Cooper, who does not catch it. So good read by Prescott, and gets the receiver wide open due to actually blown coverage on that one. Still doesn't work. Prescott on this one, he's going to eventually scramble outside the pocket. Again, could have maybe had a touchdown, but was too far. Tough play, off balance, but still, you could have had a touchdown right there. Weren't able to get it done. Also, here on this one, you're going to notice Prescott fires it deep, and it's caught, but then not caught. So some clunkiness. So yeah, listen, good win for the Broncos. Like, you're staying alive. You're all right. I think the Cowboys are okay as well. Listen, this is the NFL. This stuff does happen. You're not going to be perfect for the entire season. You're going to have some, hiccups here and there. They had a bad game. There's no denying they had a bad game, but I'm going to trust that the Cowboys are closer to what we expect the Cowboys to be than they are what they look like, against the Broncos. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.